Okay, we started streaming and we are good. So let's see here. Here's the link. Okay, folks, let's see how this goes. Um, all right, so, oh, man, it has been a long day. So we got one viewer. We're just waiting for some people to come into the to the video. But if you have questions, that you want to ask me about the token or the token summit this year, just go ahead and fire those off into the chat. I will be watching that to make sure I can answer any questions that people have. So, on Twitter, there's one guy who is asking. Well, I'm assuming it's a guy, but it says at Mason_IO, and they ask if it's just about raising money to fund the project, why a token sale? Why not something like Bank of the Future? You say you want to be responsible to your community. Why put them at risk with Ethereum smart contracts? They've been hacked and still can be. Okay, so just a couple points of clarification right now. We're not completely committed to doing this on Ethereum, as not official yet. It certainly does make me very nervous looking at the scalability concerns that are occurring right now with Ethereum around the CryptoKitties project, which is just one project with traction. If all of these projects that have ERC20 tokens or whatever actually start to get viral traffic, this is going to cause a lot of problems for Ethereum. And so, yeah, that is a huge risk and something that we're looking at. So I would say that Ethereum is definitely not uh, a guarantee right now. We will be looking at all options. So there's that. The other one is is it just about raising money to fund the project? No, it's not. In fact, I had a meeting with investors this morning who were interested in the project and willing to put money in. So, and have continued to do so for the last several months. I mean, the fact of the matter is we're not even really at a time where we need to raise money right now. We have plenty of money on the runway to support our team. I mean, everyone would love to expand and grow support, but I mean, we're still executing with the money that we have, and so it's definitely not a money grab or just about raising money. What I do think raising more money would enable a team like ours to do, though, is not to purely put money in a bank account for OB1, but to look at ways to entice developers and other entrepreneurs to build on top of our platform. And we're already seeing this with the others. I mean, you see the projects that are raising a ton of money. They don't even know really what to do with it and don't have a really good plan. And especially if they've raised it in crypto and the price is going way up, that causes even more problems because now you have even more money that you're responsible for and have to deal with. So I think a lot of those projects are not used to handling that kind of funding, and don't have the proper governance in place to manage it effectively. So I think that's going to be problematic for us. Um, we've been funded for like around 2 years, over 2 years, I believe. Was it 2015? Yeah, like 2.5 years, and have had to be responsible for that and go back and justify additional money that we raised. We raised it through several rounds, and so we understand what it means to be accountable to the people that are investing their time and money into it. And that means the users, not just financiers. Uh, but the thing is that projects like ours that are going to take a good amount of time to gain traction, um, they can't really follow the same roadmap necessarily that traditional companies do. There's a large runway of developing the technology and figuring out a lot of these complex problems associated with building decentralized platforms. And so, yes, I mean, simple things like a CryptoKitties type of app or DApp, which is pretty straightforward, can occur quickly. But things like complex marketplaces that involve things like fraud prevention, trust, logistics, channel management, advertising. I mean, all that stuff is like super difficult. Search, and it will take more than unfortunately, it will take more than $3 million and 10 people to really to bootstrap and get going. So money, yes, money is important. There's no doubt about it. But I think to characterize any kind of effort like this as being purely for money to pad the pockets of Obi-Wan or the developers is just it's completely wrong. Um, Although it would be nice to be paid well at some point. Um, so let's see. Here's another comment. NoPara73 said that was unexpected and a little disappointing, but more importantly, will it pump? Let's see. Okay, well, I don't know about pumping. Um, that will be up to Junseth to pump this one. Um, let's see if there's any other questions. If you guys have questions, put them in the chat too. I know there's some people watching, so please go ahead and do that. And let me know if you can't hear me. I'm very willing to answer questions. So, in fact, I'll tweet back out again. If you have questions. Okay. So I just tweeted that back out. Let's see if there's any other comments. So one question was, are well, it wasn't a question. It was just very upset that people were very upset thinking that this OpenBazaar token would somehow replace other mechanisms for payment in the network. Um, I think I was surprised. Well, first of all, I was very surprised that that was the reaction I got because I thought we were pretty clear about the way that we're going to be going forward. But no, we're definitely not replacing Bitcoin or any of the other planned currencies with our token as the only option for payments. That would just be stupid, in my opinion. I mean, the whole point of OpenBazaar is that we want to have the broadest audience ever, and to require them to get OBI tokens or whatever they are, in order to transact on a network would just be an additional layer of friction when we're trying to reduce friction. So no. Pete Rizzo in his blog post said, he called it a layer two token, and you can kind of think of it that way because this is an incentive layer on top of the OpenBazaar network, which uses other blockchains for payment mechanism. So now we got some questions, so I'll go ahead and start answering those. So Adam asks, haven't had a chance to read the announcement, but will the token have exclusive utility on the Obi-Wan market? I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. Do you mean exclusive, like it can't be used anywhere other than the Obi market? Um, well, first of all, Obi-Wan doesn't have a market. It's OpenBazaar, but OpenBazaar in general, yeah, the token will be, the utility will be focused primarily on helping OpenBazaar. The first use case is around monetizing curation. And so you could think of it as like if you have a bunch of electronics vendors that you trust and follow, or you like what they're doing, or they have unique products for sale, you can curate these into something similar, something akin to like a Pinterest page. And on that page, you would have the ability to basically, the system would auction off advertising space on that channel, on that curated page, and you would be able to receive revenue based on the traffic you're able to get to your channel. So that's one example, and that would be specific to OpenBazaar. I missed the announcement. Why do you need a token? Is it going to be a marketplace token? Are you going to burn tokens as Vitalik suggests with a marketplace token to inc, incorporate in value? I'm not sure what that means, ink in value. Um, and I don't know exactly what you mean by marketplace token. Now, here's the thing. The marketplace protocol, the one that exists today, doesn't need a token to exist. Like we're already doing trade on OpenBazaar and have been for a while. Um, so it's not considered requisite for like the core protocol. Where we need a token is in kind of giving people more of a reason to participate on the network and solve some of the problems, or help us solve some of the problems that we have right now. For instance, trust is a big issue. We had like an interesting little scam pop up this, over the last week or so, where somebody was, basically colluding with themselves as like a moderator and causing problems. Now, it's not to say that the token will completely solve that problem, but if we start to use these tokens as reputation stakes, or for instance, maybe someone curates pages of trusted moderators, and they're able to moderate that because they're vetting clients offline, or in other ways. That's another way that this token could provide value, and that is something we need. Now the question is, could we use other currencies? Well, just think about managing that. I mean, now you're asking the network to accept every single currency we support to do these processes. It just gets kind of infeasible to manage. So in order to keep it simple, you keep it simple with just a straight up token that's for OpenBazaar purposes. You said, are you going to burn tokens as Vitalik suggests with a marketplace token to increase in value? Well, we haven't settled on a final model for that. The two ideas that we're kind of tossing around are, one is the tokens would get burned. The tokens that would get bid on the advertising auctions would get burned. The other one is that perhaps those tokens get recycled back into the foundation, and then the foundation could actually be in charge of rewarding users for certain activities, and that would create like a different cycle. So this is part of what we'll be proposing over the next few weeks or so, and and you know basically see what the community thinks, and provide feedback and stuff. So that's super important to us to get that done. Um, are you guys settling on ERC20 tokens on your own blockchain? Um, no, we probably won't have our own blockchain. I can't see us doing that right now, but we're going to be diving into that a little bit more very soon. So, like I was saying earlier on it, Ethereum is not necessarily what we're committing to. So, it could happen, but I think that's probably not the direction we'll go. Total supply, don't know yet. Don't have that number to share. So, realistically, if we're going to be burning the coins, though, at some point, then obviously that would factor into the total supply number. Burn tokens for every transaction on OB. Well, I mean, the purchase transactions would not be done through the token, so I don't know why we would burn tokens on each transaction, but maybe I just don't understand what you're asking. Okay. Let's see, anything else interesting on Twitter that people are zinging me with? Sorry if I'm not talking as much as I normally do. My throat is tired from talking all day long. But the cool thing is that people seem really excited. A lot of really really nice, insightful questions, not just about price, which I kind of was worried that all these questions would be primarily around how much money we want to raise, when is the sale, blah blah blah, which I did get asked a couple times, but like the majority of the questions were actually um, about the usage and what we're thinking and how we're going to tackle certain problems. So that was good. Um, let's see. Let me see. Oh, a lot of people asked why we bothered to put out a blog post saying why we don't have a token and then turn around and sell a token. I think it's a really great question. Um, I don't ever say that I'll never um, change my mind about things. I mean, I've been wrong before. I mean, I think we've made two really big project altering decisions recently. One being that we would accept other currencies than Bitcoin, which was a really, really, really hard one for me because I really do believe that the long term prospects of Bitcoin are super strong. And I would love to see something like Lightning or some other layer two solution work out. I was ecstatic to read about Lightning and also sidechains when those were proposed. Um, and regardless of the big fight over SegWit, um, I think anything that's kind of like moving along the path of getting additional scalability into Bitcoin is great. And I think Ethereum is doing their deal on scaling as well. And so I know that people feel it's important. So I'm hoping things like CryptoKitties and SegWit2x fight and all this stuff are going to implore these developers to really prioritize that and think about the fact that people are trying to build applications on top of this stuff and they need the infrastructure to support them. Um, but the token one is a particularly contentious issue because we have traditionally kind of shrugged off the Ethereum community and others as kind of being this nominal group of people, which I've had to eat humble pie over the last year or so because it is a reasonable community and it is a growing community, and Bitcoin dominance is going down. It's clear that there's going to be a diverse landscape of different coins and services and platforms and dApps and all this stuff. And we want to work with everybody. I think there's no reason why OpenBazaar should be on just Bitcoin. It doesn't make any sense at this point in time. And so that has shifted for sure. Um, Blockchain investing. I like OpenBazaar. The whole crypto community needs an open marketplace. Your own token is needed for more user adoption. Bitcoin fees are too high for everyday commerce. That is true. Um, they are too high, but it's a fluctuating market based on demand. And so some days it's great, some days it's not. I can tell you from my own anecdotal experience that we get a lot of tickets from people complaining about fees. Now, we got a ton of them right around SegWit2x and when that fell apart and shortly after. And I haven't been seeing it a lot lately. So I don't know how much SegWit is helping or if there's spam being alleviated from the blockchain, but it certainly seems to change from time to time how much people are upset about it. Um, it's it's not going to go away. Like I don't think that when you see low fees one day that everything is good, and I don't think when they're super high that the sky is falling. It's a long-term thing we have to resolve. So everybody's going to continue working on that. Okay, well, I have to get off for another meeting, but I just want to jump on and answer any questions people had, and I'm going to try to continue to do these from time to time as the idea kind of formulates and solidifies, and would love to hear your feedback. You guys can always email me at brian@ob1.io if you have any problems and or questions or suggestions, and we're everywhere. We have IRC channel, we have Slack, we have Twitter, Telegram, everything. So there should be no limit of options to get in touch with us, and we want to hear from you. So thanks a lot for supporting, and hope you're excited about the announcement today. Thanks a lot, everybody.